What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is JyroWithRelish, and welcome to another channel announcement video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some additional things that I forgot to mention about how I'm going to be handling polls, as well as some other things that I feel like you guys also need to know about this channel and about some things that are coming up that are going to affect how this channel kind of works, operates, and also the uploading and various other schedules associated with this channel. And of course, I'm going to be announcing the next Let's Play that's happening on this channel. Without further ado, let's get to it. Before we begin, I actually first want to apologize about the last channel announcement video. As you guys know, as well as I do, at multiple points during that video, I had looked away from the camera, and I didn't realize that I was or really how much I was looking away and how quickly I was at the end of every 5 seconds. And after going back and editing that video, I realized actually how unprofessional and just how horribly bad that video actually ended up turning out. And the only reason why it was so bad as it was is because I'm honestly really not that used to using a webcam like this. But in short, I just wanted to very sincerely apologize about how unprofessional and how horribly bad I was in the previous channel announcement video. And I would also like to apologize if this video actually turns out the same way, or if any other future channel announcement videos turn out the same way as well. I promise that I'm going to work on that. But with all that aside, I would actually now like to talk about some things that I forgot to mention concerning polls and how I'm going to be handling them. As you guys already know, for polls where we're deciding what game I'm going to be playing next on the channel, I'm going to provide 3 different options for that poll, and the poll will be posted on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And when I go to tally up all the scores of that poll, I take all those different platforms, or the poll on each of the platforms combined, tally up all the scores together, and see what the total outcome is. But something that I never really discussed is how I'm going to be handling 2-way ties and 3-way ties. So how I'm going to be handling 2-way ties is, and for the record, 2-way ties is just the same thing as a regular tie between 2 out of the 3 options. But what I'm going to be doing for handling these types of ties is I'm going to invoke something I call the Mario Party rule. And for those of you who aren't exactly sure what I'm talking about, during Mario Party games, with circumstances depending, all 4 players will choose a minigame between 3 different minigames to choose from, and whichever minigame gets the most votes is the one that's actually played. However, there's a special circumstance where if 2 players pick one minigame, 2 other players pick another minigame, and therefore there's a tie, or as I called it, a 2-way tie, between these 2 minigames. What ends up happening is the 3rd minigame, the one that wasn't chosen, is the one that's actually played. So very similarly, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to essentially sort of use that kind of rule as a general guideline. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, if there's a poll where we're or you guys are choosing what game I should play next, and there's a tie between 2 out of the 3 games, what I'm going to do is instead play the one that wasn't picked between the 2 options that tied. So very similar to Mario Party, what I'm going to be doing for these polls is if the poll shows that there's a 2-way tie between 2 of the 3 options, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play the game that wasn't picked, or the one that was least picked. I know that it seems like as if I'm kind of punishing the fact that there was a tie and not playing one of the 2 more requested games, but I feel like as if it would be the most fair thing to do. However, the case with 3-way ties is a bit of a different story. What I'm going to be doing for 3-way ties is something that I would rather not 100% do, but there's really no other way around it as far as I can tell. What I'm going to be doing is something I call the biased vote. And normally during these polls, what I try to do is remain unbiased. And by unbiased, I mean I'm not going to necessarily add my own vote to the poll, because I feel like as if then that will sort of add like a weight, or like the poll will be weighted in that case, whereas if it's like if all the votes are strictly from you guys, then it's completely unbiased in that regard. However, in the case of a three-way tie, I feel like the easiest thing to do would be to just add my own personal vote to it. That would therefore breaking the tie. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't do this, but a three-way tie is kind of one of those special situations where something has to be done in order to break that tie, and it would be the simplest way to sort of handle this. And the same thing also goes for polls where there are absolutely no votes at all, because at that point it would kind of be like saying the same thing where if a poll I post doesn't get any votes at all on anything, then that's more, in a way, it's a three-way tie, because all the votes would be zero. But obviously, like, in order for this channel to progress, I would have to play something. So the easy way to do that would be to just add my own vote, and then I would play that game. So in short, same basic rule for three-way ties and no vote ties, as I'm going to call them. And two-way ties are going to be handled in a very Mario Party fashion, where if it's a tie between 2 out of the 3 games, the third game that was either not picked or least picked is going to be the one that's actually played. Now, on the subject of polls, something that I'm going to actually start doing starting today is I'm going to actually start asking weekly polls just to sort of get an idea of what kind of content you guys want and also how I can provide that content. And what I'm going to be doing for the next couple weeks to, honestly, who knows how long, I'm going to be asking a wide variety of questions, such as, did you enjoy the new Super Luigi U series? Or what is your first impression of my channel when you first look at it, not even watching like a single video? What is your first impression? So questions can range from a wide variety of things, but again, the whole point is to get an idea of what you guys are wanting, what you guys are expecting, and how I can better provide that. Each of these weekly posts will be posted on come Monday morning, and there's actually a very special reason for that. So the next thing I actually want to talk about is some very exciting news. As I mentioned a couple videos ago, I was sort of in the middle of this kind of job hunting phase, and I want to say that has for the most part come to an end, because in the very near future I will be starting a new full-time job. And because of this, the uploading schedule, recording schedule, things of that nature, all that's going to change. As you guys may or may not already know, I've already made some of the changes to this, and for the most part this entails what is written on the channel about page. Some very small changes have been made there, such as adding a list of new and completed Let's Plays, as well as denoting when the recording schedule and uploading schedule is. However, I've also added a note to each of those saying that the recording schedule, uploading schedule, things of that nature are going to be subject to change because, like I said, in the very near future, I'm going to be starting a full-time job, and that's going to kind of drastically change a lot of things that are going to be happening with me personally that are going to affect this channel. But with all of that aside, it's now time to get to the major event of this video, being the results of last week's poll. And more importantly, what the results of this poll will tell us is what game I'm going to be playing next on this channel. So after counting up all the votes, there were no votes on Patreon, but that's okay because on Facebook there were 3 votes for Zelda Breath of the Wild, and on Twitter there was 2 votes for Zelda Breath of the Wild, but also 1 vote for Sonic Forces. But putting all that math together, what we end up getting is that the next game that's going to be played on this channel is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild won by a very large margin, as I've pretty much stated. And as such, the next LP on this channel is going to be Breath of the Wild. So that's pretty much going to be it from me. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been JyroWithRelish, and I will see you guys in the next video. In this video, I'm going to to you guys about just how horribly bad I or how I'm going to be handling polls, and how those how the things that I'm what